Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Universe. This is the Blue Dragon Actual YouTube channel, and this video is related to the impact of artificial intelligence on the salaries of actuaries. So this is something that has been long pending since I was not keeping well. In fact, I'm not that well right now as well. But I feel that because my team has promised that it would be released maybe 2 weeks earlier, and since that has not been released, so Blue Dragon Universe stand for the commitment, and since we have already missed the commitment, I felt today, since I'm able to speak bit, I should be able to cover this presentation. So I made a very simple presentation, and here we are going to cover the salary levels and anything that you are. Hopefully, your questions will be answered. So do listen to this video till the end so that your questions get answered. If you do not find answer to this question till the end of this video, then feel free to write it in the comment section. Our team will look into that and they will respond to you. Right. So right now there are three main types of companies that operates in the actual industry. I'm talking about life insurance, general insurance, pension, investment, etc. So these are core. This means these companies have their own product. KPO or VPO example would be Sun Life or MetLife and WNS, EXL. So these companies actually do not create their own product, but they help US-based companies or offshore companies and take their work and do their work, right? Usually the work that would be done would be mostly coding related and maybe analysis of numbers, right? And then there will be consultancies where the big four dominates like PwC or Ernst& Young, KPMG, Deloitte, etc. And there are a few other players in the market as well. So these companies are the major, employers of actuaries in India, and obviously all of these companies will be impacted, but based on their budget, I think the impact will be more severe in core because they do not have that high budget. The salaries usually are low, much lower in core. And these days, after the implementation of IFRS 17, most of the countries in the world is going to follow the same structure, right? So earlier there was a difference between what US used to do and what Indian companies used to do, but that is going to come to an end maybe in 1 or 2 years. India is already lagging behind. So India is going to implement the Indian version of IFRS 17, which they call IND-AS 117 or 17. I don't remember it is 117 or 17, but that is going to be implemented from 1st April. They have to do the implementation from 1st. It has already started from 1st April 2026. It's already started. So I feel they have 1 year to do parallel reporting, and then they has to move on to IFRS 17 sort of reporting, right? So that barrier that used to exist earlier he's also going to go away, and that is where IFRS 17 is very important. We do have coaching for IFRS 17, so check out those details in our website if you want to continue. And if you want to learn, many times I get this question from freshers: what extra should we learn in addition to our papers? So I keep on telling them that other than papers, go through Excel, SQL, VBA. Even in the age of AI, if you do not know the basic of those softwares or those coding basics, you are not be you will not be able to code, right? Even using AI, and that is extremely important for any finance professional. Not only that, we do have an Excel course. Which is extremely advanced Excel. AI would not be able to code in that manner, even if you know Excel, right? So that is where we have to understand the importance of coding. AI only helps those who have domain knowledge. If you do not have domain knowledge, impact of AI on your work would be less significant. But coming back to this topic, core has the minimum budget, and that is where artificial intelligence will give them an opportunity to reduce that budget even further, right? So they can do that by eliminating people. So code will be maximum impacted. Then KPO and BPO, they would also have seen probably earlier adoption of AI because AI has its origin in US and China specifically, since China do not share data and other things with India. So US companies mainly would be, the KPOs would be sharing data, so they would be involved in AI projects, and people who are already working in the sector probably would have gained some understanding of AI already, right? And same goes for consultancy. So consultancy will definitely be working with different companies to see the impact of AI, and consultancies will also adopt AI. So what this will do is AI is going to do the junior level work as of now, right? Maybe at certain point of time, AI is also going to do similar work, but at much higher level as well. But right now, for the next 5 6 years, I am going to believe that AI is not going to do much senior level work. In fact, someone at senior level will probably vetting those work. And maybe at much later duration, maybe 10 years down the line, even that vetting would not be needed because people will just grow comfortable with the AI work, right? So that even that would be under challenge, and there would be very few people who would be working there. But right now, I think this sector should not be that much impacted other than the initial level. So the for the freshers, it is becoming more and more difficult because the work that freshers do that can be easily done by AI. Moving on to the next slide. So this is how the salary structure is. Usually you'll have a fixed component and then a variable. And these two combined makes your CTC. And then gratuity and EPF would be part of your CTC in some company and would be eliminated in some other companies, right? Usually gratuity and EPF should not be part of your CTC. Then that means your CTC is inflated. But if that is not the case, then that is good. But if gratuity and EPF is part of your CTC, then that is problematic. So when we say CTC or when we say about in-hand package, that means fixed salary minus the EPF, right? So that I just wanted to make that understandable for everyone that your in-hand salary is different from your CTC. Your CTC might be 12 lakhs, but if your fixed salary is say 9 lakhs, then 9 by 12, and I'm talking on per annum basis. So 9 by 12 minus the EPF monthly deduction would be approximately equal to your fixed in-hand package. The variable depends on the company's performance and not your performance, and it is at the discretion of the company. The company may not give the variable component, right? If the company's performance is not well. So that is where you have to understand that this is how the salary structure is created. And whatever figures you are going to see in the upcoming slide, I am going to say those figures are just for fixed package, right? Fixed package, that means I'm excluding the gratuity and EPF month annual figures, and I'm just taking the fixed salary, right? So that is what I'm going to say. So overall your CT should be slightly higher, but what I am doing when I'm doing this analysis, I'm doing this analysis from your in-hand package perspective, right? So in-hand package would be slightly around this level if you divide those numbers by 12. So that is where I just wanted to be clear that this is how the salary structure works. If you are a fresher, if you have never received salary, probably your understanding was CTC divided by 12 would be your salary. That is not the case. Your salary will be much lower than that, right? And you have to specifically check if gratuity and EPF is also included in the CTC. Many core companies actually do that. So that inflates your salary, but that is, I mean, that is not what you are going to get in hand, right? So all these practices exist in core. So they are the companies that have lower budget, and it's very difficult for them to give higher salary to you, right? So that is where the culture is also slightly poor in poor companies. I have never seen anyone saying that culture in poor companies is very good. Obviously, you get to learn a lot much quicker. If you work in a KPO or a consultancy, that same learning would take more time as compared to core, because in core you are working on same thing multiple times. You have to deal with the mood swings of your manager and his manager and his manager, right? So that is why you end up doing multiple things in very short span of time. So you learn more in very short span of time. That might help you in future as well. But these days, with the IFRS 17 comes into picture, everything would be same for most of the countries, other than maybe US, Japan, and Switzerland, who are going for LDTI or other version of IFRS 17. I can say like it is derived from IFRS 17. It's not exactly IFRS 17. So now that knowledge gap would come, would become lower and lower. But still, if you are working in a company which is selling their product, the learning would be, obviously the learning would be higher. So if you start in a core company and then later on move into a KP or a consultancy, it is easier. But when you start in a core company, your communication takes a hit. At the same time, it's quite difficult to understand the culture in a in a MNC or in a KPO. And that is where I have seen people struggling, even though they have good technical knowledge, they struggle. Also, paper clearing becomes a challenge because not get time. If you are working for 12 to 13 hours, which you are expected to do in a core company, then paper clearance becomes a challenge, and you fall behind your peers. So that is also there, but you also gain much more knowledge, and maybe hire people would be much easier to clear for you. So every company has their pros and cons, right? So I don't want to get into too much of detail in this salary structure video. So let's move on. Now, this is for KPO, where I believe that an associate, usually, the level starts with associate analyst. At one point of time, there was only analyst. Now they have introduced multiple levels, junior analyst and associate analyst in that way. So I'm just assuming this would be the level. So associate analyst would receive somewhere between 2.4 to 4. This I'm considering in next 1 to 2 years. And as I mentioned, this is your in-hand package, like the package that you're going to get in hand, right? And uh, this, I believe, would be in the upper side, like closer to 4. But the impact of AI will bring down this package, bring down the salary, and there will be way too much competition. So you have to know a lot more than probably what I had to know when I got my first actual job. Because now AI is there, AI is going to make it much more competitive and also easier for many people to clear concept. Earlier, probably Blue Dragon Actual was the only channel that was creating knowledge-based videos. Even today, there is no channel who create knowledge-based videos because hardly anyone understand what true actually work is, and those who understand do not feel they do not have the time. But these days, you can use AI to understand a bit of it. Still, AI is like a kid in the actual world. It cannot produce everything, cannot produce cash flows, and sometimes it produces wrong things. So you get wrong concept, but you can at least learn something. And papers that you are studying are obviously outdated by 10, 20 years. Papers like SP5 is outdated by, is completely outdated. That is needless and irrelevant today. So yeah, so you have to learn on job. That is very, very important. That is why actually is a professional course. Then analyst between 4 to 5.6, senior analyst 5.6 to 7.2. Till this level, I feel the salary growth would not be that quick. But once you gain some experience, then it starts moving up. So assistant manager between 8 to 12, manager 16 to 24. Senior manager, I believe between these days, even senior analyst are qualified actuaries, but I believe by assistant manager level, you should be a qualified actuary. And then there is a significant jump, senior manager 30 to 50, director 50 to 70, AVP would be 70 to 90, and VP would be like the head of actuary or something. You will get around 1 year plus. That will always stay relevant. And especially people who are going to qualify in the next 1 2 years, for them, this would be quite relevant. But I don't know what will happen maybe 5 years down the line. Then we'll have to reassess and make another video like this. But in next 1 to 2 years, I think this is going to work, especially in the KPO sector or the BPO sector. Moving on, consultancy, it's almost similar, but consultancy is usually have more budget because they work with multiple companies. So the salary shifts slightly on the higher side. Also, they also employ many more people as compared to a KPO or BPO, right? So they would have teams working for one company and another company. So they would have much more higher budget, so they can cross subsidize each vertical, right? So, and there also the work is project based. So depending on the project, you can get higher budget as well. So here the starting package would be between 4 to 5.6, and advanced analyst would be from 5.6 to 8. Once again, from associate consultant level, I believe that you would be a fellow. These days, it is people are becoming fellow much more quicker. The restriction that were present in our time has been nullified. Like in our time, you cannot appear for CA2 and CA3 without clearing CA1, or you have to clear the CT series first. This time, these days, those restrictions are removed. Questions have become multiple choice. Even people are cheating and scamming. IA has released CS1 to few selected coaching centers, and that is just the surface level. I've already made a video on that. So these days, it's much more easier to become an actuary. So then manager level, you get people management role 16 to 24 and senior manager 30 50, and in that way, right? Partner will definitely get 1 year plus. Moving on, core, I think here the salary level will go down as I mentioned. People like to reduce budget more because AI can do many work. So the hirings will also be much more lower. So here I believe it will start from 2.4 to 3.2. In that will go to 56 lakhs, 60 lakhs in that range for the appointed actuary and the chief actuary level. So that is how I feel the salary structure would be. And I don't see too much of the recruitment going on in the code. Right now, there would be some recruitment because of the IFRS 17, but 2 years down the line, without any regulatory change, I don't see there'll be too much of recruitment. In fact, in life insurance sector, many of the software companies like Profit or Access, Moses, like even Pathwise, which is the new entrant, they are building AI capabilities. So that will make it even more easier for the management to lay off people. Because earlier, the work that requires maybe hours, and many people would not be requiring that much people and that much time. So it will be much easier. Right now, the industry has not developed that trust for AI, but sooner or later that trust will also be built, and then number of people would obviously come down. Now your question would be, oh, so you are saying that everything is bad, and should I prepare for actually? So if you are thinking that salary will be your deciding factor for a field, then obviously you are behind many people. Your mindset is much below average mindset. And not only actually, you are not going to be successful in anything because you have to, in order to be successful, you have to be intelligent. You always get paid for solving problems, not for your degrees. Right? Degree will just get you the job, but you continue to get paid, you continue to get promoted because of your ability to solve problems. And if you can't solve this problem, which impacts your life, then how are you going to rise in any field? So that is where I feel that this you should not see is this as a challenge. I mean, there are actually is probably the best financial certification that is there. I'm not saying that because I'm an actuary, but I've seen it upfront and ahead in my time, right? So there are other certifications like CPA or CA and so many other certifications, MBA Finance, etc. But actually, the depth you get in actuarial world is much higher than all of these professions. And that is why you also get paid much higher as compared to these professions. So that is the reason. So your job as an actuary is to imbibe that culture and solve problems. Now, as an actuary, you need to also understand artificial intelligence architecture. If you are a user of it, then also it will work to a certain level till the awareness catches up. But you have to be a creator of AI. You have to create your own LLM, specific LLM, etc. And this I have already discussed in detail in the previous video. If you have not seen that video, you should see the video before that. Actual scams, and I also have made another video on artificial intelligence. You can see that video, right? But and that is where I feel that people are believing that whatever has worked in the past will work in the future as well. And actual principles tells you that past is a bad indication of future. So you always have to adapt, always have to change your assumptions. And if you cannot do that in your actual job, then obviously you're not going to be successful, right? So it is not that the profession is going away. Profession will always stay. AI would bring new risk, and actuals will be required for that risk as well. And there will be new method of calculating finances and reserves and whatnot. But you have to survive, and you have to gain knowledge in the traditional method so that you can apply those in the non-traditional areas. Right? I would believe that you have to know multiple domains now. Not life insurance alone would not work. Probably you have to know life insurance and investment. So these are my expectation. I'm already I already have knowledge in both these domains, right? So I think that will help. Maybe I can add another domain, say health, because I worked on health sector as well, right? So this now it is up to you to identify the problem and ensure that you differentiate yourself from the rest, because there is a challenge, but that challenge is also an opportunity. And especially people who have domain knowledge, as I mentioned, AI will benefit those people who have strong domain knowledge, because AI is will hallucinate. AI will not let other people to have more intelligence, and that we are already seeing. Gen Z is already the dumbest generation of humans, and Gen Alpha is dumber than Gen Z. So we are getting dumber and dumber, right? So the decline of humanity has already started. Now, if in this sort of world, if you are a person who is solving problems, who is thinking continuously, who is introspective, who have that mindset, then obviously you are going to be better than others, right? So right now your competition is us, who is much more intelligent than you as Gen Z. But slowly, 5 years, 10 years down the line, everybody would be depending on AI. So your competition will also reduce. That is also a good thing, right? You will be competing with people who would be at your intelligence level. It is just that this generation who is facing this transition would have difficulty, because few people would have that mindset of previous generation, like our generation, who are intelligent enough, and few people who have that mindset of the Gen Z or Gen Alpha generation, where their attention span is smaller and they would not be able to grasp concept, right? So instead of going by number of papers and writing motivational post on LinkedIn or passing a paper and thinking that you have conquered the world, try to solve problems and start with this one, right? So that is what I'm going to say, and this is going to happen in all other sectors. If you are going to do FRM, this is going to happen. If you are going to do CFA, if you are going to do maybe engineering, MBA finance, etc., from IIT, IIMs, etc., wherever you're going to do, this is going to happen. So without domain knowledge and without multiple areas of domain knowledge, you are not going to survive, right? Artificial intelligence being one of those areas. You have to understand the architecture, right? Otherwise, you are not going to survive in this AI dominated world. So I hope I'm crystal clear on that. You know what you have to do. Even after that, if you want to continue, it's your call. If after knowing this, if you do not want to continue, that is also your call. Finally, special mention internship would be much more relevant now, because people would be judged on their intelligence these days. And these are the areas, or these are the salaries I feel would be or the stipend that interns will get. Definitely, this is similar to what that was in the past. But if you get internship opportunity, ensure that you show your ability to ask good question, and you have done your homework before asking questions. Many times, even today, I got a couple of stupid questions. People coming in my LinkedIn profile asking, "Hello, Arpan." Now, what I do with "Hello, Arpan," that person is responding and waiting for me to respond "Hi," and then that person will ask the question. So that will not help me, right? That is wasting of my time, and that is wasting of your time. So this simple small things, if you change, right? If you stop buttering, and if you stop, maybe thinking that paper is everything, and if you start moving towards the areas where you are expressing your intelligence through your work, right? Then only you are going to survive. Otherwise, you'll be eliminated completely, and you are going to blame everyone else other than yourself. Whereas you are the person who would be responsible for your own downfall. So just understand that you have been cautioned. This is the way every field is going to behave in next couple of years. Actuaries will probably be much less impacted as compared to others, because actuaries are believed to have strong domain knowledge. But you need the domain knowledge. You cannot just be a paper actuary and hope to survive in the AI world. That is not going to happen. Sooner or later, it will be kicked, and the way it is going, it will be much more sooner than earlier it was. So that's it. I hope you loved and enjoyed this video. Love the honesty. If you do, then please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This still late. This is the only channel that share knowledge on actual concept. No other channel does that. They just do interview and whatnot, right? But those that do not help anyone. And most of the actual coaching center people who are scamming and cheating and helping students to be cheaters rather than actuaries, they do not have any work or very limited work. So probably you already know that I head an actual department in an MNC, right? So you can understand that I have reached that level where probably you are already dreaming to reach. And if you have to reach that level, then your path will be much more tougher than what I had. And for that, you need probably more intelligence than I had, right? So you have been warned. Now it is up to you. what you are going to do. Have a great day. See you in future news.